We are getting new video from Gaza into our newsroom. Israeli forces showing Hamas vehicles and weapons they say were found in or around the hospital in Han Yunis. Grenades, guns, and Hamas flags also found inside of that car. And inside of Nasser Hospital, the largest in Gaza, the IDF searched for hostages. Israeli forces raided that hospital after a freed hostage said that dozens more were being held captive there at one point. Meanwhile, on the northern front, Israel continues to battle Hezbollah. The IDF says it conducted airstrikes leveling Hezbollah structures, but rockets from Hezbollah have forced many residents in northern Israel to evacuate. And in Rafah, Israel continues to pound parts of the area with airstrikes, leaving craters in the ground. A series of strikes overnight killed 6 people. Now, this is the area where more than 2 million Gazans fled to, seeking safety when the war broke out. Here now to talk about the rising tension, retired Air Force Special Operations Commander Major Glenn Ignazio. It's always good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Good to be with you, Natasha.
Let's start with what's happening in Rafah. We know Israeli airstrikes killed more than a dozen Palestinians there just this weekend. We have our reporter there on the ground telling us tonight that the latest timeline pointing to a full ground offensive potentially in early March. The planned invasion has exacerbated tensions between the Biden administration and Israel. How should this situation be handled by the U.S.?
It's a delicate situation, you know, as you see all these bombings, that's preparing the battlefield, but they really need to get in there on foot to make sure they can rule out Hamas and all of the infrastructure. But what the Biden administration is doing is they're getting very detailed as far as what Israel is taking for actions, and they're very, very vocal about it. However, Netanyahu is going to do what he decides to do, and that's always been his premise from the past to the present day. But the idea of making sure that civilians aren't harmed is a priority for everybody. But like I said, Biden can apply pressure, but Netanyahu and the IDF is still going to do what they feel is necessary.
And we know IDF forces have been raiding several hospitals in Gaza, most recently Nasser Hospital. That is the largest hospital in Gaza. And Israel says that soldiers found credible evidence that hostages were held there at some point. It's interesting. International law says hospitals are off limits, but released hostages are saying that they were held there. Hamas weapons supposedly being found. How would you approach this contradiction?
Yeah, it's a delicate situation, and the reason for it is that, you know, hospitals, mosques, schools, and everything are supposed to be off limits unless they are actually providing direct or being used as direct attacks against a particular entity like IDF. So what's happened, if you look at it, most of these facilities have built tunnels and command and control centers or housed infrastructure and weapons. Unfortunately, when that occurs, it eliminates their protected status. Hamas has done this as a defense. That was one of their main things, is that if they do this and they build it underneath hospitals and everything, IDF will not attack. Unfortunately, with the situation that they're facing now, they have been attacking them. So they really lose that status, and it's unfortunate, but that's the situation that is being faced right now.
Yeah. Major Ignazio, I want to ask you about Russia. In the past, President Biden has warned of devastating consequences for Russia if Alexei Navalny died in prison. He has. In your opinion, what actions should the White House be taking now?
Well, it's very profound as far as what's to happen. Any kind of person in any way, shape, or form. You know, Putin's been in since 2000. Putin takes them out. I mean, when Navalny was poisoned, that was from Novichok, which is a state-sponsored and controlled nerve agent. So we know where the responsibility holds. But as far as actions against Russia, you're talking about increased sanctions, additional pressures. Where can they apply any kind of pressure whatsoever to Russia? But remember, it's a Russian citizen. As bad as it is, as horrific as it is, and Putin really has the ultimate control and really handles all the levers within the Russian government. So it's going to have to be an international pressure that's going to have some type of impact on Russia, and it's bad already.
We know Russia is also trying to develop a nuclear space weapon that would destroy satellites. How concerned should the U.S. be at this point?
Well, it's one of the things of has it been deployed? No. Is the capability there? Absolutely. We have anti-satellite systems, both the Russians and we do in the United States, where we're launched from ground or we can launch them from aircraft. But what this does is something much more significant, because It's designed to take out satellites. And some of our military satellites are hardened against what we call electromagnetic pulse. It's a big pulse that goes off when a nuclear weapon goes off. Now, if that happens in space, you have damage and debris that is horrific to even the International Space Station and others, but will absolutely wipe out communications, imagery satellites, GPS satellites because of this pulse. So anything in the area, it impacts a tremendous amount of operations for the globe, not just for an adversary.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.